all yours.
Thank you very much, Drew. So I'm Adam, and I'm an alcoholic. Can you all hear me all right? All right, great. Um, I'm doing this because this saves me. It has dawned on me through AA that helping others saves my life and provides me with what I was looking for in a bottle. Because this is an AA meeting, I'll keep the topic to alcohol, although that wasn't the only substance I had used, just so you all can relate. I don't want you to feel excluded because I'm not talking about it, but I have used every substance to try to give me what eventually I decided alcohol was going to give me until one day it didn't seem to work anymore. Over time, alcohol gave less to me and did less for me and did more to me. There was a time when it wasn't doing so much for me anymore, and it just started doing things to me. Over the years of my drinking, the juice wasn't so much worth the squeeze anymore. And because there are some newcomers in this meeting, I need to get to the crux of the problem that I have. Why would I continue to drink alcohol if when I drank alcohol, terrible things happened to me? That seems to be the crux of our problem. My problem especially, I'll speak for myself. I got sober Martin Luther King Day of January 2015. So this next January, if I continue to do what I need to do on a daily basis, will be 6 years. And I started drinking probably around 12 years old. So I spent about 18 years drinking. And I can tell you that probably for the first 10 or so years of my drinking, it was mostly amazing. I loved it. It solved all of my problems. This will explain why I continue to do it so much. I saw my brain become rewired. I saw that alcohol was now my solution for everything. I was having a bad day. I was having a good day. I was depressed. I got dumped. I didn't get the job I wanted. I got my feelings hurt. No matter what it was that happened to me, alcohol made every single thing in my life better. I had arrived. As Bill says in Bill's story, I felt it. Finally, all of my problems were solved. I didn't need no magic pill. Alcohol was my magic pill. And there was nothing in the entire universe that could keep me from continuing to drink because it was what I loved more than anything in my entire life. I found reason to stop later on when I noticed that not only did I have this compulsion to drink all the time, in which the Dr. Silkworth talks about is the mental obsession, and that I cannot keep myself stopped, even though I would like to. But once I start and I take some alcohol into my body, this insatiable, overwhelming craving kicks in, which dictates more, 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 more. The consequences of a week or a month ago, as it says in the book, do not occur to me. And if they do occur to me, they are easily pushed aside because this time it's going to be different. This time it's going to be different. You know why? Because this time I got someone else driving for me. Or this time I'm not mixing it with other drugs. Or this time it's not tequila. This time it's just beer. Beer's harmless, right? How could I get wasted on beer? And I'm wrong. And the more I drank, the more wrong I was. And the bigger my ego got. So the more I drank, the more wrong I was, and the bigger my ego got, which determined that I could not tell the truth. I was more wrong, but I was insisting that I was more right. I was losing more jobs. I was hitting people. I was hurting myself mentally and physically because I hated myself and I hated what I saw in the mirror. And there was no end in sight. I will mention that from a young age, I did have it in my eyes. I knew everything. I had it all figured out. Come 16, 17, 18, 19, I had it all figured out. When I wanted to feel really good, I'd go out at night and I'd drink. If I needed a little boost, I'd take another little pill that gave me a specific little boost, or another specific substance that gave me a little boost. And if I needed to come down because I was too high up, I would take that and I'd have landing gear to come down to, so I would go to sleep. I had all of my chemicals. I was a self-prescribed pharmacy. I had everything I needed, so long as I had everything I needed. That was the problem. Acquiring, getting, how was I going to get it? I couldn't take no for an answer because I always needed the drug. I always needed the drink. No matter what, I had to have it. So anything that got in my way, I would somehow figure out a way to manipulate. So I had to get smart. I had to get creative. I had to get clever. I had to learn how to lie to people with a straight face in order to get what I needed, to be drunk all the time. Because if I told people the truth, for one, I'd be admitting to myself I had a problem, which I could not do because I was too much of a coward. And if I told other people, then they would intervene and they would take away the one thing that meant to me more than anything. And I would be lying to you if I wholeheartedly told you that my family meant more to me than drinking, because they didn't. I loved them to death, but nothing in my entire life meant more to me, if I'm truly honest with you, than making sure that I was able to stay drunk and get it when I needed to get it. So why? Why did it matter so much? Because I suffer from the obsession of the mind that comes gnawing at the back of my skull and knocking on the door to my subconscious or my conscience every day, that eventually tells me to drink. That's what I suffer from. I don't suffer from a power, a lack of willpower. I don't suffer from being a bad man. I suffer from an obsessive voice that's in my head that tells me that I need to drink. Does it always say those very words? No. Sometimes it's just a feeling. Sometimes it's just such an incredibly powerful compulsion that tells me I need to go there. And when I do take it, I suffer from the need to take more into my body. I can't control it. I have no choice but to take the first drink or the first drug. And I have no control over the amount that I do take. Some days I will have 2 beers if I go out. Some days I'll have 20 and I'll mix it with other substances. I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I get in so much trouble. I'll fast forward now to the day before Martin Luther King Day, the day before I got sober. And just before I go there, I want to back up a little bit before that moment, and I want to talk about the time when I finally decided that I was done for good, like about 3 times. The first 2 times were in treatment, and I ended up drinking again within the next matter of weeks because I never truly intended on being stopped. I wanted to learn how to control it, and I thought that I still was able to figure that out because I thought that I'm a reasonably smart person, logical. All the answers are on the internet anyway. I can figure this out. And I tried and I didn't do it. In fact, I didn't even really try because I didn't care that much. Because deep down, deeper than my pledge to try, I still wanted to drink because the obsession was still there. It doesn't matter if I make a pledge to stop. It doesn't matter if I hit bottom. That's not going to make the obsession go away. I would later come to find the only thing that can make that go away and make me stop drinking was what they call in AA a higher power or God. And my connection to a higher power or God was achieved directly and in no other way than from doing steps 1 to 12 exactly as they are laid out in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. There's nothing special. I don't have any special technique. There's nothing special I know that anyone doesn't. And if you're alcoholic like me, I guarantee you there's no special trick that you're going to figure out, because millions of us have tried. The only different variable between when I hit bottom and relapsed and hit bottom and made a pledge and never drank again was that time I did 12 steps, and I still do them today. And because I still do them today, not only am I not drinking, but I actually don't even want to drink. So that out of the way. When I did make the pledge after treatment those 2 times and then relapsed, I made a firm pledge. After drunkenly in a blackout, losing control over the amount I drank, I trashed a friend's apartment in Los Angeles. I had respect for this guy. I liked him. I had no reason to hurt him, scare him, ruin anything. But I lost not only complete control over the amount that I put into my body, alcohol, but also control over my actions once the alcohol was in my body. I lost complete control over my actions. That is to say, my next action was completely out of my control and unpredictable. And it ended up making holes in his wall, ruining his TV, scaring him, putting my hands on him, and having the police called and escorting me back to my house. I wish they arrested me. It probably would have helped me hit bottom quicker, but they didn't. And I wouldn't end up getting sober for another 10 years after that. I made a firm pledge to never, ever, ever drink again. I lasted 5 weeks until the thought crossed my mind. Well, if I just have one Heineken, how could that possibly get me in as much of a trouble as I got in before? No way. Was I wrong? No. But I was wrong about something else. My ability to have just one Heineken. Because when I had one and I had the taste, the only thing I was thinking about the entire night, no matter what was happening, was that second one. And I had 2, and I actually did call it quits that night, which was further proof that, hey, I'm not an alcoholic. I can do this on my own. But then fast forward a couple of weeks, and I was straight back to drinking where I was when I trashed my friend's apartment. Now, the day before I got sober, was January 18th, 2015. I'd woken up 7 a.m. out of about a 2-day bender, drinking who the hell knows what, who knows where, who knows with whom. I don't even know if I was mixing drugs at that point. I really don't know. It doesn't matter because I always pretty much did. But alcohol was the common denominator. So what happened was I woke up in the morning. I was drinking, so I was back in it. My resolution not to drink was completely gone because I had thought that, hey, look, I'm still drinking. I'm out of jail. Everything's fine. So I wake up 7 a.m. I'm a little bit hungover, and I don't usually do this, but my friend that I was about to move in with, mind you, I was about to start a whole new career with him. I was going to work with him as a real estate agent. He was going to give me a place to live for like $250 a month. This is in 2015. That's nothing. And it was going to be fantastic. I had every reason to get it right and to just behave. My life was getting on track. And in the morning, 7 a.m. came, and I was opening the fridge, and then I opened the freezer, and I saw an unopened bottle of about 1/5 of Fireball whiskey. And I look at it, I'm like, is this your Fireball? And he goes, yeah. And he's in a jocular manner, take the hair of the dog, man, you're hungover, right? And I said, well, actually, I am a little bit hungover. And I used that as an invitation. Hey, look, he's saying I can do it. He's not going to yell at me for drinking at 7 a.m. This is going to be great. Now, the only one around here is going to co-sign it. I love it. I love when people want to get drunk with me at 7 a.m. I love when people want to keep the party going all night. I hate when there's one person who says at the bar or wherever I am, well, it's getting late, guys. I have this horrible feeling in my pit of my stomach and in my chest. And the feeling says to me, the fun's all over, Adam. The fun's all over, man. They want to kill your buzz. They want your good feelings to die. They want to end it all. Why don't they want to get drunk with me anymore, man? I'm not done. I don't want to be done. If I'm being truly honest, I don't want to be done. I don't care what it does to me. I need and want to be drunk forever because I love the way it makes me feel. So 8 a.m., I'm already about 2 shots in. Feels good. 8:30, 9 a.m. The bottle's with me now because I can't stand to look back over it and see that it might be in the freezer and it's getting someone else's attention. I need its attention. I want it. And I'm looking at the TV and I'm looking down at my friend's dog and I'm looking at him. And all I can think about is that damn bottle of whiskey. And so I grab it out of the freezer. And so now, yes, it is with me. It's close to me. It's close to my hand. I have it. I have it close, right where I want it. There is no cup. Late stage alcoholism, no cups anymore. I don't care. I'm not keeping track of how much I'm drinking. The only thing I'm keeping track of is how do I feel? Oh, I feel pretty damn good. This feels great. I love this. And it's almost like a snap. And then I wake up and it's 2 or 3 hours later and half the bottle's gone. Do I care? No. Why? Because I feel good. I'm safe. I'm outside. I don't remember how I got there, but I'm outside. I have the bottle with me. It's funny, even in a blackout, I can still remember to keep that bottle close to me. And what do? I find myself outside. That's interesting. How did I get here? I don't care. Did I just black out? Oh, I don't care. Another swig. And you know what it tastes like to me? It tastes like everything's going to be okay. Because so long as I had my drink with me, everything's fine. Everything in the universe is fine. There's no racism, there's no war, there's no poverty, there's no famine. There was no abuse in my childhood. Every problem that could or possibly would ever exist or has ever existed is gone because I feel amazing. And you want me to give that up? No, I'm not giving that up. People don't get that though. People don't get that. They don't know that that's how we think if we're really being honest with ourselves. And we don't have the courage to tell them. So fast forward again, it's almost like I drink and I go back into this fever dream. And I wake up and it's this blackout and it's 2:33 p.m. now. And 3/4 of this fifth of whiskey is gone. I'm sure I have tolerance now, mind you. I wouldn't be able to do this with no tolerance. I'd be done. I'd be at the hospital. And I wake up and I feel so good. You know what I'm talking about? Just like this one perpetual orgasm that keeps itself going, like, oh, my everything feels so good. And it is this warm, fuzzy feeling inside, a little bit of tingling, and you just feel, on top of the world, Superman. And so I seemingly blink again after I wake up. Now, my blackouts are long and my awakeness is short. I'm awake for 5 minutes, boom, blackout again. What I'm actually suffering from is alcohol poisoning, but the way it feels is so good. So I go to sleep and I wake up now, it's about 7 or so. The sun is setting. I wake up, most of the, if not all the bottles gone. I don't even want to drink it. I feel amazing now. Am I drunk? Yes. It's been about, 5, 6, 7 hours. I've had the equivalent of, 30 drinks, 40 shots. Of course I'm drunk. How do I feel? If you ask me in that moment, sober and amazing. I believe I'm not drunk. If you ask me if I've been drinking, yes. Do I feel drunk? No. I feel completely amazing. Fine. I lose, however, the ability to rationally gaze where I'm really at. So what do? I go into my car because I have to drive because I have to go get to band practice. It's like 8 and 7. Hey, it's awesome. I made it up in time, right? I get in the car. I remember turning on the car, and as soon as the car goes on, boom, blackout. I come to about an hour later, 8:15. Where am I? I had driven something like 10, 15 miles southwest when I meant to go northeast. I was sure I knew where I was going when I was going to get there. I didn't end up there. What made me come to out of the blackout? Red and blue flashing lights behind me in my rearview mirror. I'm terrified. I know that I've been drinking. I know that they can't know that. It's time to turn on the manipulation switch. So that fails hard. what happens is she asked me if I want to take a field sobriety test, and I say, sure, absolutely. Why? I don't know. You're trying to gauge rational thinking out of me? Really? Um, I get out of the car and she asked me to walk a line, not realizing at the time that she probably has already smelled the alcohol in my breath. I can't walk the line. I put one foot in front of the other, and I, like Willy Wonka, like Charlie Chaplin, like Bozo the Clown, I just like nearly collapsed in my face. And she asked me to put my hands out to the side, failing this miserably. She asked me if I want to blow into the machine. I said, absolutely not. Because I know that in Florida, if I blow into the machine, that's a year mandatory. I lose my license. I'm not interested in that. And I thought that if I did blow it into the machine, she would know that I knew what type of blood alcohol content I probably had in that moment. So I didn't do it. So back to the field sobriety test. She goes, okay, put your hands up to your side, put them up to your nose. I think, wait, maybe I got this. She goes, okay, put them up to your side, put your thumbs down, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. And I snapped. I completely lost it. I turned into a rage. And I'm sure in a different climate, I probably would have gotten my ass handed to me. They did end up hog tying me and put me in jail. And fast forward a little bit, as I detoxed from jail, this 3-day binge of alcohol, it dawned on me that I would end up back here in jail, and this time it wouldn't be for running a red light while under the influence, nearly blackout drunk. This next time would be because I would hit a pedestrian. I believed it. I knew it to be true. In my heart, I just felt it coming. I'm going to hurt someone. I'm going to hurt someone. I'm going to kill someone. And I'm going to have to live with the guilt of ruining my life. I'm going to have to live with the guilt of ruining my parents' life. I'm going to have to live with the guilt of possibly harming a pedestrian. I'm going to have to live with the guilt of destroying my dreams because I still got them. I don't want it. I don't want that life. And I cracked. Something happened to me in that cell, in jail. Bottom. I was terrified. I had no pride left. Sucked it all out of me. And I said to myself, I'm scared, man. What am I going to do? I can't stop myself from drinking and driving, and now I actually care. What am I going to do? And I did what every good little Jewish boy does when he's scared and needs someplace to go. I call my mom, and she said, let's get you to treatment. Now, I had been to treatment twice earlier before. I know that it's effective if I probably applied myself and took direction. But this time around, there's no money, there's no insurance. I don't go to treatment. I live with her. There's no alcohol in the house. I commit to going to meetings. I went to meetings. I started off in another fellowship, which ended up leading me into AA, that is fellowship, which is fantastic because it's the best thing that ever happened to me. This fellowship, we talk about the solution. The solution, literally the 12 steps. There's 3 sides of the triangle. There is unity, there's service, and there's recovery. Unity, sticking together. Service is doing for others. Recovery is my 12 steps. If I do those, I'm solid. Solid enough? I don't know. I'm sober. I'll tell you that much. That works. So in the meetings, I finally ended up in a different attitude with a different demeanor, different temperament. This time, when I went to a meeting, unlike years earlier, I listened because I wanted what these people had, because I had found out that these people were both not drinking alcohol and happy at the same time. But unlike other people who are not alcoholics, these people were like me. So you're telling me you're like me and you love alcohol more than anything in the world, and it's the only time you ever felt happy in your life, and you're not drinking it and you're happy? I need to know the secret. Of course, I looked for the secret everywhere until I finally figured out that there was no secret. It was just the 12 damn steps. But that's my mind for you, right? It's got to be something else, man. It's got to be. No, it doesn't. I got to know what God is to do this work, right? No, you just got to do the work. But I don't, what am I going to pray to, man? I don't know what God is. What am I going to pray to? Pray. They told me, don't matter what you pray to, you pray. You don't pray to yourself. My prayer tells me that I'm not God. I need that done because I am constantly playing God all the time. I won't get into all the rest of the whole character defects and everything. All that's going to come up for you guys when you do your step work. You'll come to see that you are the cause of your own problems, and that the solution is not ending your life because you're going to keep creating your problems. But the solution is in not trusting in yourself to solve every single one of your problems anymore, but trusting in this higher power, trusting in God, this thing I call God. I was always agnostic. I didn't come into the program believing in God. The first times I came into the program, I came in believing in me. And I believed in alcohol, I guess you could say. And then when I got in this last time, I didn't believe in anything. I was hanging on by a thread. I had no belief, no faith. So I was empty. I was ready to be filled up by whatever the hell these men and women in AA had to show me. And I took nearly every suggestion, except for the women's suggestion when they said, don't date. They throw these things around, these interpretations, these sermons. Don't you get in a relationship? Don't you have sex in your first year? And I would always be like, where does it say that in the book? But in their defense, they gave me a lot of suggestions that aren't directly in the book that were very helpful. Now, I don't think it's any coincidence that I have women troubles. I didn't take the women advice from my sponsors. I'm still doing my will there. I took the advice when it came to drinking and drug use. I took the advice when it came to stealing. I don't steal anymore either because I was willing to let those things go. So whatever I find objectionable to me is what I've learned I'm ready and willing to work on and to let go of. But if I'm still holding on to it, I'm clinging. I'm not going to let it go. So how is God going to take it from me? I'm not letting it up. I was willing to let drinking go. And before the obsession started back in my mind, there was intervention. The only intervention that we have found for alcoholics of our type. That is to say, if when we are drinking, we find that we have little to no control over the amount of alcohol we take, or with a firm resolution to stop, we find that we cannot stay stopped and we're alcoholic. We found there is no other alternative for people like us if we want to stay free of alcohol. We must, people like us suffering from this condition, must give up our will, surrender, suffer enough pain to finally change. And I'm grateful that I finally suffered enough pain to finally change my behavior and to submit to something finally, before things got even worse and I got even older. Now, I will say, lastly, I'm finishing up here. I don't want to take too much more of your time because I think I've got the point across and I don't want to dilute it. I will say that I do get on my knees for this higher power. And I will also say it's the only thing in the universe that I do get on my knees for. I don't bow before anyone. But this higher power, I do. I'm okay with that. That's a fair deal. I do this. I stay disciplined in this work that continues for a lifetime. I get to be sober and be happy. All I got to do is leave some things in God's hands. And I can tell you generally my experience now is better than it was when I was drinking. Or I would give this all up and I would go be drinking right now. Why would I be doing this if it wasn't better? Why? You can't give me a reason. There is no reason. It is better. If you're worried or scared to do this work, it's okay. Be scared and do it anyway. Or don't be scared, because your life's only going to get better as a result of doing it. Your life, however, will 100% guaranteed get worse if you are alcoholic like me and you do not intervene immediately and start this work. I'm telling you this because I've seen my life get worse, and I don't want anyone else to suffer the way that I have suffered in a lonesome, dark, cold nightmare. All alone, hurting myself, wishing I were dead and not having the courage to do anything about it. I don't want anyone else to have to end up there. And that's why I'm grateful to do what I'm doing today, to help people. I have a purpose today. I'm very, very, very blessed for that. that I didn't die before it was too late, like a lot of my peers. It was too late to do something. I can't tell you exactly why I get to live and a lot of my friends growing up didn't and they died, but I can tell you that I'm going to honor that every day by carrying this message and helping people like us the best that I can. If I want to live, I have to anyway. Um, I appreciate you all listening. This has been a really awesome privilege, and I'm very happy that I got to share my story and be able to own me and start to fall back in love with me today, whereas I used to hate the person that I saw in the mirror. So thank you all very much. God bless you.